Wow, thanks to the Hart cheerleaders for welcoming us back to 13 on Your Sidelines. Northview and Greenville finished at the bottom of the OK White standings last year.
Well, the Wildcats are off to a 2-0 start, and the Jackets are coming off their first road win in 4 years. A win tonight at Legacy Field might be just what one of these two schools needs to turn their programs around. Late in the fourth, Armand Irving connects with Isaiah Buckner for the 8-yard score to tie the game at 21. We go to OT. First OT, Case Johnson punches in the 1-yard score to give the Yellow Jackets the 28-21 lead. Northview now has to tie it to stay alive. Irving finds Jake Johnson from 11 yards out, and he stays in bounds. We're going to a second overtime tied at 28. Wildcats start the second OT with the ball, and Matt Toole celebrates in the end zone for the touchdown. Northview goes up 35-28, but Greenville responds. Fourth down, Noah Long keeps it and scores. That makes it 35-34. Greenville goes for 2 and the win, but the pass falls incomplete. Northview wins the thriller 35-34. Coming into tonight, Grand Rapids Union had never beaten Zeeland East in 11 tries.
You know what? But the Red Hawks are getting better each year under Don Fellows, and last year's contest was a tight 4-point game. So maybe this is the year Union would finally get over the hump as they hosted the Chicks at Hausman Field. Zeeland East led 36-14 at the half. Third quarter, Chicks punting from their own 24. DJ Nixon back to field it at his own 45-yard line, heads right, turns back left, goes down the far sideline, gets a few blocks, makes a few men miss. That's a spark. 55-yard punt return for the score. Red Hawks cut the deficit to 15. Chicks answer immediately. Austin Kerr leads the team to the red zone on 3rd and 8, finds a leaping Ethan Rosenberg for the 13-yard pitch and catch. That stretched the lead to 43-21. Union's offense struggled to find its footing. Grayson Fellows back to pass, slips out of his hand. That's a fumble. The Chicks pounce on it at midfield. Zeeland East goes back on offense, which means Kerr is back in business. Weaves his way in from 8 yards out for another score. The Chicks pile it on in the fourth. They win big 63-27. Wayland beat Grand Rapids Catholic Central the first time they met in 2008. Since then, the Cougars have won 10 straight against the Wildcats. First possession of the game, Cougars go 58 yards as Connor Wolf follows his blockers into the end zone. Catholic Central missed the extra point, though. Their next possession, they would go to the air. Wolf back to pass, perfect fade to Mill Coleman, the third, who makes the grab for the 10-yard score. Extra point good, made it 13-0 after 1. In the second quarter, on this week's episode of Man, I love the way this kid runs. Kellen Russell Dixon breaks a tackle, runs into traffic, but keeps the legs churning, keeps those legs moving. He's got reservations for 6 as well. 75 yards to the house, and the route was on. Catholic Central rolls 42-7.
I like that new segment. I love the way this man runs. I like it. I like it. Our 13th and final game was chosen by a fan vote, and it's happening somewhere in Muskegon County. We'll have that next.
Speaking of Muskegon County, Orchard View is looking for their first win over Montague since 2014. Find out if the 2-0 Cards got it at home tonight.
And we'll tell you which excellent offensive line is taking home our Protector of the Week honor.